Does your morning begin with the rattling of a small orange bottle? Perhaps it is for your blood pressure, your cholesterol, or your blood sugar. For most people my age, those bottles have become a constant companion, but they are a companion I do not have. I am 75 years old, yet my kitchen counter remains empty. This is not a matter of luck. Last week, my doctor sat in silence for a long minute while he looked at my heart and my blood work. He did not ask what gym I visit. He asked what medication I take to possess the internal chemistry of a young man. My answer was 0. For 35 years, I have ignored the noise of the modern world and returned to just 5 real foods. Our grandfathers did not struggle with the obesity and disease we see today because they ate what was real, rather than what was manufactured. Before this sunset is over, I will show you those 5 pillars and the one question my doctor asked that will change how you see your health forever. Think back for a moment to the 1950s or even the 1960s. Do you remember seeing the levels of obesity and chronic disease that we see today? You do not. In those days, we did not have low-fat labels on every box or apps that counted every calorie. Yet, we were stronger. We were leaner. The truth is simple. Our grandfathers ate real food. They ate things that came from the earth and the animal, not from a laboratory. Somewhere along the way, we were told that the food which built our ancestors was suddenly dangerous. We were told to fear the very things that give us life. I decided 35 years ago to stop listening to the noise. I chose to go back to the basics. The first pillar of my health is the most misunderstood food in human history, the egg. Every single morning for 35 years, I have eaten 3 whole eggs fried in real butter. My doctor told me in 1990 that my cholesterol would skyrocket. He was wrong. The egg is the perfect vessel of life. Within that shell is everything required to create a living, breathing creature. I do not throw away the yolk. The yolk is where the nutrients live. It is where the strength is found. When you eat the whole egg, you are telling your body that you trust nature more than you trust a scientist in a white coat. I am 75 years old, and my heart is as clean as a whistle, and it was built on 3 eggs a day. My second pillar is red meat, specifically ground beef. For 35 years, I have consumed 1 pound of beef every single day. In the 1980s, the experts began to tell us that red meat was a death sentence. They said it would clog our arteries and lead us to an early grave. I chose to look at my grandmother instead. She lived to be 96 years old, and she ate beef from the farm every day of her life. There is a simple logic to it. The cow is a bridge. It takes the sunshine and the grass of the earth and converts them into the very proteins and minerals that build human muscle and bone. When I eat beef, I am not just eating a meal, I am reclaiming the strength that our modern world has traded for boxed cereals and chemical powders. Beside my beef, you will always find the third pillar, the potato. The world has become afraid of carbohydrates, but they have forgotten that the potato was the fuel of the men who built this country. It is energy from the ground, humble, honest, and pure. I boil my potatoes with the skin on, just as my ancestors did. They do not give me a sugar crash like a modern snack does. They give me the endurance to walk for miles and to work in my garden until the sun goes down. At 75, My muscles are firm and my mind is clear. I do not need a laboratory to tell me why. My body knows the truth. The fourth pillar often makes people nervous. It is raw milk straight from the farm. For 35 years, I have ignored the warnings that this milk is dangerous. I look at it differently. I see a food that is alive. The milk you find in the supermarket has been heated, separated, and put back together like a science project. They call it milk, but I call it white water. It is dead. My milk still has its enzymes, its healthy bacteria, and the cream that rises to the top. I am 75 years old, and my digestion is as perfect as it was when I was a boy. We are more bacteria than we are human, and when you stop fearing nature, your body begins to heal. Then, there is the fifth pillar, my golden elixir. Bone broth. Every week, I simmer beef bones for 24 hours. This is the glue that holds my 75-year-old frame together. The modern world wants to sell you a pill for your joints or a chemical cream for your skin. I choose the collagen that comes from patience and a low flame. My knees do not creak when I wake up. My skin does not look like thin parchment paper. This is the difference between real and fake. The food industry wants you to buy things that have a long shelf life, but food that does not die on a shelf cannot give you life. I choose the things that are fresh, things that are raw, and things that require time. It is a simple trade. I give my time to my food, and my food gives me my life back. However, I must tell you a truth that is harder to swallow than any meal. You can eat my exact 5 foods every day, but if your spirit is filled with bitterness, your body will eventually break. I once knew a man named Henry. He followed every health rule. He exercised until his lungs burned. He ate only the cleanest vegetables. Yet he passed away at 68 from an illness that no one could explain. I believe I know what killed him. It was a grudge he carried for 40 years against his own brother. He carried that anger like a heavy stone in his pocket every single day. Anger is a poison that you drink while hoping the other person will suffer. At 75, I have learned that forgiveness is a vital nutrient. I do not forgive people because they deserve it. I forgive them because I deserve peace. When you let go of the weight of the past, your heart beats differently. It becomes lighter. This brings me back to my doctor's office. Right before I walked out the door with my perfect test results, he stopped me. He did not ask about my diet again. He looked me in the eye and asked, "Tell me, who are you staying healthy for?" I realized then that my 5 foods give me the strength, but my purpose gives me the reason. I stay healthy because I have a garden to tend. I have grandchildren to teach. I have a community that I love. Do not wait for someday to start living. Do not wait until you lose weight or until you have more money. Someday is a mirage that disappears as you walk toward it. There is only right now. Eat your eggs. Drink your broth. Forgive your enemies. And find a reason to wake up tomorrow morning with a smile. I am 75 years old, and I am just getting started. If you have found a sense of peace on this porch today, I invite you to subscribe and join our community of steady hearts. I would be honored to have you sit with me again. Thank you for your time. Take care of your heart, and I will see you when the sun rises again.